Right.
Nice. Did you tell everyone that you were online?
On the last stream. So, happy birthday, man.
Thanks, bud.
Do you want to do something?
I don't know what she's doing. She did say she's doing something tomorrow. Told me not to go to work.
She's doing something for you. What up, 2 people?
Is it for today, guy?
I don't know. Don't know. 4 people. What up, people? God, this is really hurting my head.
If you didn't have hippie hair.
Dude, don't even.
I'm just jealous.
What do you want to do?
Fix my hair for everyone, too.
Yay, chat. Clever name here. What up, Jess? I think this might be the first time you guys are seeing me with my glasses on. Except if you're a patron, then no. Hi. Your dad is so cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, what up? 2 people? Come on, man. People were joining and not joining. I was trying to, like, if people were, hey, your brain is so cool. Thanks, Jess. Hi, man. I'm from Brazil. Love you guys. Love you too, man. I know you work hard on your vids, but where's your dad? Not on my vids. That's where. Are you a pastor? I kind of used to be. I'm gonna need a wrench, homie. What? Do you believe in predestination?
Wow, that was actually one of the topics we were
Yeah, no, that was one of the topics we were considering to talk about. I do not know what I think about it, but off the top of my head, no, I do not. I don't believe in okay, this is what I think about it. I don't believe in predestination because I believe that we have free will. So yeah, my dad is Lauren. I'm guessing you're saying my dad is a preacher, or your dad is a predestination person. Yeah, which is what makes someone a moderator, value follower in live, and you can choose them. Jess, what is that?
I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah, but how do I do that?
What, make a moderator?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Yes. Where are you from? I'm from the East Coast. That's where I'm from. VA.
Is regarding that we're all predestined for an afterlife in heaven. And then another one is before the earth existed, Genesis 1:1, certain people were predestined to go to heaven and hell. I would disagree with the latter of those two.
Go Vols. I don't know what that. Keep saying what you're saying. Sorry.
The idea that everyone's predestined to go to heaven. I think, with my personal belief, if you follow the Bible, if you are a Christian, then that lines up. I believe that we all have a destiny to be with Christ in the end, but that free will can either put us on that path or take us off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's a discussion on predestination in that format, I'm one way. But if it's in the other format of, well, it's already been decided who goes to heaven and hell, God knows all things, so why is it even worth me even trying to wrap my mind around a religion or anything like that? I think that's just I think that's lazy living. I wouldn't tell anyone that they should absolutely be a Christian. But I would definitely think that you should try to believe in something.
Yeah, I mean, if not believe in something, be searching for something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's healthy to be searching for things. Can you be my mentor? Sure. I actually been a mentor for many people, or not people. I should say people my age or kids. Kind of interesting situation there, but yeah. I want you to get more into astrology because it will bring a lot together as far as the metaphysics. I actually love astrology, and this book that I read that really was just amazing that if you haven't read it, you need to read it. It's called The Gospel in the Stars. And it traces back to like, of course, we look at the stars and we see like there's all these Greek mythology kind of things. But this doctorate guy, Joseph Cease is his name, and he wrote A Gospel in the Stars. He went and basically looked at the historical accuracy of those like why it said that this is all Greek mythology and stuff. Like Virgo in like all those signs and everything, it points to the gospel, he claims. And so he gives like historical context for it and stuff. I really like the stars. I really like that idea. I have a lot of dreams where I'm in space and I'm doing some weird things. Some weird things. I make it sound weird. But, like, yeah.
What's everyone saying?
Yeah. Okay. Believe in yourself and self-worth will lead you to what serves you. Okay.
What is your Twitter? Can I text you?
I do not have a Twitter account.
Nor a denomination.
Football, Tennessee, dope. Believe in yourself and self-worth will lead you to what serves you. Believe in yourself and self-worth will lead you to what serves you. I'm trying to wrap my head around that sentence. Personally, when I accepted the fact that God doesn't exist, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. All of my fear and worries gone. Interesting. I have to say that I can definitely understand that. But I'm curious as to what led you to accept, as you put it, the fact that God doesn't exist. Because I think, I'll just leave it. Watching Endgame in like 20 minutes. Should I pirate it for?
Absolutely not. We will find you.
Yeah, don't do that. I'm gonna go see, and he's going to see it tomorrow. Oh my God. So I think, just a side note on this whole Endgame stuff, I've not been looking forward to a movie like this for a long, long time. And I went to look at the reviews because I'm like a huge movie nerd, and I always look at reviews and look at Metascores and all this kind of stuff. Metascores, Rotten Tomatoes, and I looked at one review that said one character's name and like that he came to the rescue, and I was like, damn it.
Doesn't matter who it is, don't say it. I'll be so pissed.
Yeah, you're afraid that I'm
gonna
ruin it, dude. What do you guys have where I can communicate to you? Sorry if I'm bothering you. You're not bothering me. Email me, message me. NathanielAlger017 @yahoo.com. Not going to say that again, but
still use Yahoo?
Dude, I have a Yahoo and a Gmail. I use
later.
Both. I use both. Yeah.
Do any arguments for God's existence intrigue you at all?
If not, why? The only argument for God's existence that kind of intrigued me was the argument from miracles. And that really led me into like the whole problem with subjection versus objection. Like somebody can say this is a miracle, but nobody saw it, and so it's like you still require faith to believe that person is saying, or have faith that what that person is saying is real or true. Other existence. I mean, really every argument for God, every philosophical argument for God that I've studied intrigues me. But I also see the holes in all of those arguments. So, JK, people get lost in the word God rather than the power such an idea could be used for good. Irony. People get lost in the word God. The word God. I keep thinking word of God. Word God. Rather than the power such an idea could be used for good. Jess, either you're on a whole nother level of deep, or you might need to work on your how to like the way you type things out. I told you I talk metaphors. I love it. I love it. It's making me think. I'm like, she's on another level. That's real.
Good on that.
I grew up in a house where I was abused in many ways, and I need help trying to gather up the strength to forgive a certain family member. Any advice? That's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay. And it's also one that so I grew up in a house where I was abused in many ways, and I need help trying to gather up the strength to forgive a certain family member. So the thing about abuse and family members is normally when you're in a state of abuse, and okay, so nobody wants to be abused. Nobody wants to, but they find themselves in that situation, typically with somebody that they are tied to on a very emotional level. So when you're tied to someone on a very emotional level, you don't want to hurt them. You want to, like, you genuinely care for them, but yet, and you want them to care for you. And typically, it's this really manipulative, um, relationship. And so it depends on, there's honestly a number of steps for this. So I would say the first step is like, maybe you need to, and I know a lot of people will frown upon this, and it's not an easy thing to do, but maybe cutting ties with that family member for a small period of time to give yourself space to breathe and space to like figure out who you are again. Maybe I'm making sense, maybe I'm not. Because I do think that you can totally get lost in somebody. And I'm sure, I mean, there's physical abuse, there's emotional abuse, and both can be really tough, really, really difficult. And most of the time, you don't even realize that you're being abused unless it's really physical, until years later. So I think the first step is time. And I think the time, it's like however much time that you need. But there's obviously forgiveness, like, and forgiving yourself is a part of that. Like forgiving yourself, because there can be a part of you, whether you know it or not, that's saying, I let this happen. How could I let this happen to me? And it's like, actually, you didn't do that. You didn't abuse you. You fault at all. I don't know if anyone's told you that, but if not, then it is not your fault. I'm telling you, it's not your fault. And then it takes forgiving that person. And forgiveness isn't supposed to be easy. Forgiveness hurts. Forgiveness is something where it's like you go back to the point of like, I forgive you, like you never did anything wrong, like you are the still same person. But then the final step is, it's like you need to have boundaries. You need to have safeguards of like, I'm not going to come this close into contact with this person because I know I'm going to get hurt and I know I'm going to get abused. And so there's also forgiveness, but forgiveness doesn't mean just jump right back in that relationship and be good. It also means putting up boundaries and safeguards for yourself. So that's kind of what I have to say.
It was
on another level.
I don't know the exact moment or situation that caused me to stop believing. It was just the buildup of years of questioning it and always feeling scared and judged by the thought of it.
By the thought of him.
Of him. Well, I mean, yes, there is judgment in the gospel, but if fearing judgment is what you took away from your time in diving into the Gospels, then in my opinion, you kind of missed the point. It's not about judgment. It's about freedom. It's about what was done for you and the life that you can have through Christ. And in the part about always wondering, I think Nathan and I would both agree that the being of always wondering isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps us strong. That's what keeps us tactful, keeps us driven to learn more. I don't believe in being a lazy individual. And I think people who continually try to move forward towards knowledge, who are always thinking, who are always wondering, I think that's a good character trait.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of times it's taught in the church where, well, here's all the answers. You don't have to wonder anymore. And,
Yeah, no.
I don't even think that's.
I think that's if
good
you don't
gospel.
if you don't leave room for mystery, then it just turns into pride and arrogance. So it's not. Yeah. One person asked, "How do I explain Jesus's resurrection? Is it all myth, or what's your explanation?" To be honest, Isaiah Armstrong, I don't have an explanation. I don't know what I think about it. When I look at and read the story of the gospel and look at the story of Jesus, if I look at it as a mythical story, if I look at it as something that is kind of fantastical, I think it's a really beautiful love story. Honestly, I really do. And a lot of people will argue with that. And obviously, there's some things here and there, and it comes down to cultural differences. If you've studied theology in the Bible and that sort of thing, but I think the story is very, very beautiful. I know that there's been a lot of research on whether the resurrection was real, and I know the only guy I'm aware of is Lee Strobel's Case for Christ. I have not read that book. I watched the movie, but movie wasn't the best, but I do want to read that book because he was an atheist, and then he was like, I'm going to disprove Christianity, and then he researched out the resurrection, and then he became a Christian from that because there was no denying it. And everyone he ran into, well, this is on the movie, so I guess I might be getting the facts wrong, but I have not read that book, but I do want to. So I think it's a beautiful story. I don't know. That's actually on like my long list of things that I want to study. So yeah, that's I think.
I think when that question's brought to me, and it's definitely like answering a question with a question kind of thing. But I think it's funny that in modern culture, we're entertained and open to ghosts and spirits and zombies and other things like that. And I've met people who are like, oh yeah, ghosts are real, but like Christ's resurrection isn't, like Holy Spirit isn't.
Yeah, there's a problem with that.
Yeah, like you can't be like for one
That's cherry
and not
picking.
for the other.
It's cherry picking.
And so like I believe Christ rose from the dead, and I do believe in a spiritual and a supernatural, and I think that people have a natural inclination to be driven towards those things. We see it in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Movies, video games. Not saying, they're all horrible. I'm just saying that take a look at what's going on around you in the essence of what's happening spiritually, and then I think it becomes a lot easier to answer. Is the possibility that a man rose from the dead for good? It just became an easier question for me to answer. Yes. There's a lot of focus on dark resurrection, and other than Christ's resurrection, I can't really think of a case for a light side resurrection.
Yeah.
Well, actually, John.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe it was John.
Do you think that two people can be in a relationship if they don't agree on where their faith is or lack of? I think they can be in a relationship, but it will only go so deep. And I'm going to be vulnerable and say my last relationship that I was in actually didn't work out because we didn't connect on a faith level. So in relationships, there's like a heart level of connection. There's a surface level connection, and there's spiritual level connection or something of that nature. And there's a physical level of connection. So you guys can, a lot of couples connect physically all the time through sex, whatever. And then there's the spiritual connection, which it's like, okay, if you don't connect there, then maybe you also don't connect on an emotional level, which guys and girls typically don't connect on that level unless there's like they're like obviously they like each other and they're in love or whatever. And then I forget what level I said here. Basically, there's like 3 or 4 levels of connection. And if you don't, in faith, typically is like a lifestyle choice, like for the people who have faith, for the people that follow it. And so if you have 2 different lifestyle choices that drastically can dictate what you do in life, how you do it, where you do it, all of that, it's going to be really hard to be in a relationship with them. And I know firsthand that mine did not work.
I think it also depends on like the level at which you're talking about. I mean, if it's 2 people who are like, my decision isn't made up, but I don't know if I'm completely okay with the idea that no God exists. So maybe a God does exist.
Yeah.
They're both in that position.
Yeah.
But like there's debate as to which route to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would call that healthy.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. And maybe I spoke too fast, like in saying what I did about my relationship, but like there's a healthy level of questioning. You don't have to be at the exact same place, but being at like you don't obviously like it'd be really tough for a Satanist and a Christian to be in a relationship.
Yeah, that would be one of those.
But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And Jess, that is super awesome that you got I forgive you tattooed on your chest so that your abuser would see it. It's freaking that's hard. That's awesome. What are your thoughts on getting high to get in a spiritual experience?
I saw that and I've been thinking, and you know, a few years ago I would have been like, dude, you're insane. But I've never experimented with anything like that. But I think when it comes to meditation and things like that, you know, things that Christians would consider new age, they really like try to create a boundary that separated the two. And one of the things we were talking about earlier today was beliefs, whether it's science. We were talking about the stars. You know, a lot of witchcraft uses stars and try to take that from biblical philosophy. You know, people, they take meditation, and now, you know, a lot of Christians, oh, well, meditation's evil. Well, actually, you know, I find that my faith grows in the quiet and in meditation. So is smoking pot, when you get high and you think that...
Well, I don't know if he's just talking about pot. I think he's talking about LSD, DMT, psilocybin.
You know, I'll tell you a story. My dad had a buddy who experimented with a lot of drugs, and multiple people felt that this man had a calling on his life. And when he got high, he would see Jesus and Moses and some other people. And I don't know if he ever did it again after that, but I think that if you're in the realm of wanting to know, and what I believe is that God chases after us. So if you want to get high and you think that God's going to get to you that way, I guess good luck. I don't know how to tackle that.
I don't know what I think about it, but I don't know what I think about of the idea of using drugs to have a spiritual experience. I think if I have a spiritual experience, if I do, I want it to be 100% completely authentic.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have a spiritual experience after I took drugs, then I'm always going to look back at that and I'm going to say it was the drugs. Like there's still a shred of doubt there that it's like, was it spiritual or was it just drugs?
And you don't want to get caught in the drugs.
Yeah. You don't want to get caught in the drugs,
No.
And you don't want to get caught in that form of doubt if you're looking for a legitimate spiritual experience. So that's what I would say. The more I believe in Jesus Christ, the more I'm happy. I don't believe in God. Should I?
That's for you to decide, my dude.
Well, it's a girl, Lauren.
Oh, you know what? He's a dude. She's a dude.
I've literally. What were you doing if I may? I don't understand the question. Should I believe in God? Please answer. That's for you to decide. I mean, if you've watched my YouTube videos, you know I'm in the same place. Without mystery, there is no excitement. I love hearing people different ideas on what they believe in. Answers mysteries makes us human. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Thanks for the response to my question. You guys in the chat who commented. Jesus raised in 3 days. Yes, but 3 days of God equals 1,000 years. Time long. What? Wow, math. A lot of it.
I have heard this kind of theology before. It's not common.
Where it's like 3 days on Earth, but it's like 1,000
it
years.
has to do with
Yeah.
time relevance.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
It's a vast way of thinking. I mean, good for you for trying to.
Best love story. Yeah. Do I need to commit to God? That is totally up to you, Lauren. Here's the thing with what you're asking, like, should I believe in God? Here's the thing. If I say yes, I say yes, you should believe in God. Say you get to a point of extreme confidence in your faith. And then at one moment then there comes a moment when you realize, why did I start believing this? Like you go so deep that then you're like, what's left? And then you'll realize that the whole reason you got so involved and deep in your faith is because I said that you should. And so I think for someone to be genuinely spiritual, it's subjective. They got to find it themselves, because say the thing everyone says, right? God loves you. So, I hear that still all the time. My mom wrote a note before she left, and she was like, I love you. Jesus says more. So I was like, cool. But so if I just believe that, which I did for a lot of my life, from her perspective, just because she said it, then this is where I get to where I'm at now, which is like, but and then I realized I've never experienced that love. Like, the Bible says, like, I'm a son of God, but like, where's my dad? Like, I've never, like the heavenly Father, dad, like I've never felt that love. And so I think it's just really important for the individual. Like, if you want to believe in God, actively pursue faith in that and in your experience. I'm into experiential spirituality. I'm just really sick of religion.
I mean, growing up the way we grew up, it's force fed. I mean, his dad's a pastor. My dad worked for the church. There was a time where I made a decision for myself, and it wasn't a like, I woke up one day and the decision was made. It was, I needed to go on a journey of understanding me and what I believed outside of my own parents. And a lot happened to me in that year. And now, I can make a solid, 100% believe that God is real and that I do believe. What?
This is Jess killing me. She's like, I'm gonna be super lame here, but where's your man bun? LOL. It was hurting my skull. It was hurting my head, so I took it down. Say what you were saying.
Oh, I mean, it's just that's it. It comes down to making it real for me. Now, for those who are like, should I believe in God? Find a non-denominational church. And I'm not saying that because I go to a non-denominational church. I'm saying that because a lot of the doctrine differences that you'll see from church to church to church, you won't have to necessarily be you won't have to get into that. I think non-denominational churches, it's really just a focus on dogma, which is the core beliefs, core biblical beliefs and teaching. And just because you go to a church doesn't make you a Christian. I thought I believed in God. For a large point of my life, but until I made that decision, it wasn't like 100%. I stood firm on it. So, and I went to church for years. I think that if you want to learn something, the best way is to educate yourself. Buy a Bible, find a Bible. You know, if you have a Goodwill near your house, they probably have like 2,000 of them on the shelf. Pick it up for $2. If you don't like what you read, get rid of it. Throw it on your bookshelf. Ask questions. I mean, Nathan's available when he does his videos and stuff. Things like this.
Yeah.
It's important to ask questions.
Comment. I'll reply.
Yeah. So I think just to ask a question, should I believe in God? You're not going to get a defining answer from us. I would hope that no one would give you a defining answer, even a pastor. I think the best answer would be, well, move forward, take a look into it. You can't push.
No, every good story.
My dad has a buddy. Yeah, no, my dad has a lot of buddies.
Yeah. Damn it! I always do that. Okay. You should check out Capturing Christianity on YouTube. Hold up, I'll get to that. Oh, big words. If you have the right foundation, God will ensure you interpret whatever you're doing. That's what he wants. Sorry, I'm trying to answer the questions and then read down the comments, so I'm getting to some late. I have to go to devotion with my dad. Have you read Tim Keller's book, Making Sense of God? It is great because it answers the question, why God at all? What is the purpose of God? That'd be a good topic. Any philosophical questions from anyone in the chat? Yeah, for real. No, I feel like all these can be applied to philosophy. She should have faith, believe will come later. I agree. He made a video about why he isn't doing reactions anymore. Yes, I did.
Should have flown solo on this one, dude. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? No, you're good. Dude, this guy, one, is his birthday tomorrow, so treat him with respect. Two, this dude, so you guys are asking me for advice, but I go to him for advice. So this guy's got a lot of wisdom in him, because you guys are asking me for advice, but I ask him for advice. So I agree with everything that he's saying. I subbed. Well, thanks.
I don't know much about philosophy. I watch this channel. I listen to Ellen Watts occasionally. I'm just going to go ahead and say, when it comes to philosophy and theology, we're in Virginia. Liberty isn't too far away. And this is just the first school that comes to mind. There's a lot of theology majors. And I've talked to a lot of people. I think some people get so tied up in wanting to talk about philosophy and theology that they forget how to have a basic human conversation. So for those who are like, oh, these words are big, or I don't really do much with philosophy or something like that, that's not a bad place to be in. I think it's important to just keep it human. I think Nathan has an extremely good balance of that.
Yeah, I totally blanked on what you were talking about.
It's cool.
You're getting a lot of happy birthdays, and
thank you, everyone.
Do you believe in Jesus? Honestly, I want to.
Yes.
That's my answer. Like I look at who Jesus says he is in the Bible, and I'm like, that'd be dope if this dude was like who he says he is. So I want to. That's my response to that. But I'm not just going to blindly follow. Like, I want to. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I got an oddity, and I don't know if anyone can relate, but sometimes I find it easier to believe God exists than I do that Jesus existed.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of my belief comes from, for one, I believe science proves the existence of God, everything down to the Big Bang. And so for me...
So would you say you're an old Earth creationist or a young Earth creationist?
I don't know the difference.
Young Earth creationist is like God created the Earth and the Earth is only like 6,000 to 12,000 years old. Old Earth creationist is like basically God spoke, and that was the Big Bang, and the Earth is like millions of years old.
I think I'm in between, and this is why I like the idea of old Earth creationism, but only if you take into account that the whole time is relative thing. So,
dude, Jess, you're doing the best comments. She said, like, everyone's like, happy birthday. She's like, happy orbit, friend. Because I follow you. That's good stuff right there.
There's some really, really cool arguments against carbon dating, and some of them people trying to back Christianity use, and they're like way off. But I think old world theology, if you take into, okay, well, day 1 through 7, what happened over that time. And then one of the cool things that, we discussed as children is, did man live with the dinosaurs? And then there's some really cool, everything with water canopy over the earth, and that's what caused the flood, but that's also what kept oxygen levels so high in the atmosphere so that dinosaurs like the brachiosaur could breathe through such a small nose hole. I mean, there's a ton of philosophy and other stuff out there, but I think when it comes to like the belief in Jesus, I believe in Jesus because I believe in the Bible, and the Bible says that Christ is the only way to God, and that he did what he did for me. But on the day-to-day, as I struggle as a human being, whether it's with self-love or anything like that, it's easier for me to go back to the God the Father who loves me, and than it is to the Jesus who died for me. And I think a lot of that is because I'm a visual person. I'll look at a flower and I'll be like, oh man, like that's like I swoon over it, because I do believe that God created the heavens and the earths and people, and that we could have been made without sight or hearing or taste, or any senses at all, or the ability to breathe. Those are literally just extra things that were made into the complexity of us. And so I learned to not take things like a purple flower growing in the weeds for granted. When I see that, it's more of a joy, a feeling of joy. And so I think that's what always kind of brings me back to, like, it's so much easier for me to even talk to people about the existence of God than it is the existence of Christ. So that's
I see what you're saying. See what you're saying there. Yeah, it's a weird concept, but I totally get it. I totally hear what you're saying. Happy birthday, man. I like the man bun. It's funny because some people like it, some people don't, and some people are like, take your hair down. This guy wants me to cut it. Happy birthday in advance, wise man. Hello, happy birthday. I see. I'll check it out. Hit the absolute nail on the head there, B-Day boy. Sweet. Happy orbit, friend. Old Earth faux show. Who has the biggest influence on our lives? So you're saying our lives like our lives, or our lives like everybody? Oh, okay. Who has the biggest influence on your life? That's a good question.
Does it seem conceited to say me?
Yeah, see, okay, I have to agree with that statement, because I'm a very me. I mean, I want to hear your opinion and where you're coming from. But for me, I am a very disciplined person. Yeah, I'm a very disciplined person, but I'm also I'm a huge dreamer. I'm a very disciplined person. I'm a very like headstrong, but at the same time, like, have this sensitive side to me, where I'm like a girl. I'm not. I have a beard. I will ruin Endgame for you at some point.
That's a beard.
But for me, it's like I don't know. It's not that I think I see, like, I'll watch somebody, like, something somebody says will stick out to me. And I'm like, I want to take that. But I think because I've learned mostly to love who I am, that I'm like, I want to be the best me that I can be. So I have people that I listen to in my life that will influence that. But I think, all right, if you guys have listened to John Bellion, then he has this line in a song that says, "What if who I hope to be was always me? What if, um, what if who I hope to be was always me? What if, oh God, what if who I hope to be was always me? What if now? Dang it, man. But that's the first line. What if who I hope to be was always me? And I totally feel like that because I'm like, this person that I'm looking for, this person that I want to influence my life, like they're influencing.
John Bellion is fire.
Yeah, John Bellion is, dude, he's stupid deep, man. Dude, oh man. Jojo Brownie, 57, whatever your name is. Dude, I like you, man. I love John Bellion. He's one of my favorite producers. I plan to live. Yeah. I totally forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I just think there's like something super powerful at just wanting to be the best you that you can be and fully believing in yourself. I think idolizing one person can ruin that. You can ruin you because then you're going to want to be like them and then you're going to like leave the you behind. So that's what I think. What were you going to say?
I mean, I say me, but I think mentorship is one of the most important things a person can have in life. And so the purpose of being a mentor is explaining where you've been, what you've done, and taking the best of yourself and teaching that to others. And so I agree with Nate. Focusing on one person to say they're the most influential in my life. I don't have a one person, but I've had many people who have spoken into my life and given me really good advice. But on the day to day, it's my choice to make. It's up to me to make those decisions and to take what I've learned and apply it. So I guess on that level, I do have discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Not when it comes to like pizza and hot dogs. But I think if you're looking for one specific person that like exists on the earth and that's alive, you might be thinking about it wrong.
Yeah.
I've seen people sit at home and not that I have anything against Joyce Meyer or anyone like that, but they just focus in and only listen to that one person, and I just don't think you become as rounded as you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what I have for that.
Jess, what do you mean by not enough ... wink? I don't know what you mean by that. Earlier I meant if you do drugs with the right foundation, he will make sure you get the right interpretation. That's an interesting thought.
I don't know. I've heard like people token the ghost.
No, yeah. I'm saying it's an interesting thought. I'm not saying I agree with it or don't agree with it. But here's one thing I will say. One of my mentors was on an LSD trip, and he saw the spiritual realm, and he said, "There's got to be..." Now this he didn't like believe in God from that experience, but he said, "I think there's somebody who made all of this, and so I want to know who that is." So it's so individualistic. Like it's so subjective. Like some people, like I've heard of that happening multiple times. Like they have some like crazy trip and then they're like, I see Jesus and I'm a Christian now. But then there's also people that trip and they see like a strawberry with wings on the door.
I mean, we grew up with a buddy and his mom got high on LSD and got lost in an apple orchard. She only had one apple tree in her front yard.
Wait, who?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it on YouTube.
What's the name start with?
K.
No.
mom. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Funniest
Dude,
story she ever
I
told
didn't know
me.
about that. Guess who's back? Mark Williams.
For me, I don't think God. I think God's going to encounter you where you're at. But if you're doing drugs to chase after God, I think you're chasing after the high. I think.
Yeah.
I think that in our experience in the kind of church that we grew up in, I think there are people out there who have a like strong inclination and passion to understand and interact with the supernatural realm.
Yeah. I want to jump back. This JoJo Brownie 57. I want to clarify something. I'm not saying I don't look to other people if that's what you're talking about. I'm saying because I believe in having mentors. I believe in having people speaking into my life. I believe in like you're not a self-made man. You're not a self-made person. But and you do need to lean on people. You can't do life alone and by yourself.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's cool. So yeah, I am. I do see a lot of benefit to community and stuff.
That's a good argument to have.
Psychedelics brought me closer to God. That
No. Why would you take shrooms? The Bible says to be of sober mind.
Yeah, and it also says don't drink beer. Are we going to do that too?
So for me, of sober mind.
Oh, hi, Mark. I don't know why that's there, but that's awesome.
What?
Oh, hi, Mark.
This is one of those ones that just drives me insane because they talk about wine in the Bible. I think of being sober mind. You can drink and not be drunk.
Yeah.
But I think sober mind is more of a healthful mind, place. I've met people who are in absolute turmoil who don't drink or smoke or anything like that, and I wouldn't think that they have a sound mind. I think that scripture is in reference to more of preserving the delicateness. Is that the right word?
I'm not sure.
Of the mind.
Yeah. Delicateness. Yeah.
Of the mind. In which I don't think doing drugs would be preserving that.
I was not closer to God before my first stream trip. It was like he helped me unlock the secrets of the universe. April, what was it? You said something before. You can do life alone, but it was not meant to be that way. Totally 100% agree with that. As humans, we are always chasing after something. Very few accept the present and live in it, which is interesting. Yeah. Because God is pure love. That's it. Yep. I came back with a completely different mindset. So I was not close to God before my first shroom trip. It's like he helped me unlock the secrets of the universe. This is why I'm like, it's totally subjective. Some people trip on shrooms and they're lost in an apple field. And other people trip on shrooms and they're like, it brought me closer to God. I think when you give your mind that amount of
Freedom.
I guess maybe freedom's a word. I don't know if it's the right word. If you are in a mindset of searching spiritually and you take a psychedelic, you might have some sort of spiritual experience. But if you're in a mindset as I want to get high as a kite and take shrooms, then I'm guessing you're going to have an experience like getting lost in an apple tree field or something. God uses everything for his glory. I came back. Okay. Mindset going into it. Yes. He says, seek me. But seek me at what cost?
I don't think doing shrooms is seeking.
No. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's a shortcut and I think it's a cheat, personally. He will speak to you. All right. Not everyone's message is the same. Yep.
That's true.
It's very true. And I think that's key. Everyone needs to be themselves. I feel like the drugs you would be talking about are tricking you. What if you want God to be real so that's what
I mean,
happens?
you covered that earlier.
Yeah, no, that's basically what I'm saying. It's like if you want God to be real and you're like begging him to be real, and then there's even a small part of you that's like, I want him to be real so bad that he might be real, then you take shrooms, you're gonna see God. But if you're like, God's not real and I'm just gonna be tripping on some shrooms, then I'm assuming you're gonna be tripping in crazy places that don't make sense to anybody.
Do you have any other questions?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I've actually seen a lot. Like DMT obviously is a psychedelic that is completely natural, and our body actually produces it. So when you take DMT and experience those things, if you could give someone advice for their last words, what would it be? If you could give someone advice for their last words, I'm assuming you're talking about on their deathbed. Me personally, on my deathbed, I just want to be able to, like, I want to know that I truly loved people. I don't think there's going to be any words that I could say that would make up for any of my actions, whether I did something or not. I think, I don't know. It depends on who I'm saying it to, ultimately. Where are y'all from? I'm from Illinois. We from Virginia. You might see God. You might see Freddy Krueger. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Pope Francis? As a Catholic, I have to believe that he is the Holy Father, but I don't always have the same opinion like him.
I mean, Trump's my president, but that doesn't mean I have to agree with every single thing he does.
Yep. Not to bring up Trump, that's going to start a whole lot of stuff. But no, my thought is like, look, I don't think that there should be a mediator. I haven't studied Catholicism, but I think that that form of thinking is more fundamentalism, and fundamentalism, it's easier to get caught in religion, and I don't think there's any point to religion. There's point in fundamentalism, but there's a fine line between fundamentalism and religion, and I like the idea of spirituality. I believe that spirituality has benefits and religion doesn't. So there's that fine line. And so that's kind of what I think about the Pope and stuff. It's like I'm sure he's a great guy. He's a good guy. But I just think in respect to religion, I don't think there should be a mediator between you and God. That's what I'm saying.
What's your job, Nate?
What's your job, Nate? Like, you mean like, what do I do?
This.
Yeah, this and content creating right now. I'm able to do it because I still live at home and I have a huge ass savings that is allowing me to do what I do. But I'm going to start needing to make money soon. So, random, but what time is it over there where you are? 2 a.m. here. It's almost 9 o'clock here. The Holy Spirit can touch those who have not been accepted. It's okay to be like a girl because I'm mostly like a guy. Hold on.
No,
wait. Hold up.
Yeah, you're going to have to read a few above that. I was just.
A few above that?
Yeah.
Me. Because God doesn't entreat. Okay. I'm going to have to get your info because I'm going to have to get your info because I need to do your natal chart or else we can't be friends. LOL, JK. It's okay to be like a girl. I'm mostly like a guy. What? It's so hard to navigate these types of live chats because certain people, even though they're on the same ladder as us, all they may be is on a different rung. I'm not sure what that means. Please explain. Donald Trump. Thank you for your vote, everyone. Keep them coming 2020. Build the wall. What is this? What?
Dude, it's because I said something about Trump.
Oh.
They're listening.
No way. The government is listening to this. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look,
My mind just got blown, dude. What is happening? So if I say Donald Trump like 10 times, is he
Was this like Bloody Mary? Like Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Yo, he's gonna keep commenting on this. Nate, look, you invited Trump. Yeah. What's a natal chart? Never heard of that. Yeah. I don't know what a natal chart is.
Is it like a witchcraft?
I don't know. The government listens to everything for real. Yeah, Jess, I'm not sure what you're saying where it's okay to be like a girl. I'm definitely not a girl. I don't know what you mean by that. Was that a comment towards the beard or the hair? I'm not sure.
Makes sense.
I feel a little insulted. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel insulted because I know it wasn't an insult. But I'm like, what?
This is CNN.
Fake news CNN. This is CNN. Was President Trump here today? What is going on?
What?
Oh my god. Someone's trolling you.
I love trolls.
Dude,
Yeah,
this troll is clever. This troll is real clever. 7%.
7?
7% battery.
Okay.
I mean, we can go up in my room.
That's true. I guess we don't have to be down here.
Yeah.
Detour.
Did you just fall? Do you have Instagram? Yes, I do. Nate.Alger. Alger.
Oh shit, keep talking. The end from the base.
Oh.
Jesus.
Okay. Son. Yeah. Do you have an Instagram? Yeah, I already said that. Nate.Alger is my Instagram. Did somebody say Donald Trump? Yes. Kim Jong-un. Did somebody say Compton? It's amazing. On the move. Conspiracy theory about the government listening. Siri on iPhone being hacked. When it comes to drugs, you have to understand people are involved in drugs. Their energy, their vibrations, if they're not rooted in God, your experience won't be, and God won't find you there. Wow. So what is your goal in life? My goal is, oh, you're so down there.
You lower your chair.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about practical goals, I want to be a musician, an actor, and I want to influence people, and I really want to love people really well and speak my mind and talk about the things that we talk about real things, talk about things that I feel really matter in life. And because I think there's a lot of things that, because I'm like acting and music, that's like the Hollywood scene, and that's where I want to be. I think there's a lot of things in that scene that people hide, people don't talk about. And I want to talk about it, and I want to be a part of that. So I don't know if that answers your question. That's part of it, but there's a lot more to it. So what do you hope that everyone individually gets out of their life? What do you hope that everyone individually get out of their life?
Fulfillment.
Yeah, fulfillment. What's your fulfillment? I feel like a slice of butter on a big old pile of flapjacks. Anyway, God doesn't work interesting, right?
Anyway.
If you're trying to seek him, you call. Okay. I have never had a visual on psychedelic of anything that wasn't already there. Everything moves and breathes, tells you it's alive. It's up to you what you do with that knowledge. Next, Russell Brand. Dope. Are you talking to me? I'm the next Russell Brand? I think that's dope. I like Russell Brand. But when I tried my psychedelics, I already had a foundation. Grew up in the church. As an adult, I ended up hating it. Didn't make the switch until I was about 18 or 19, once I started questioning other people's reasons for what they believe. What's your friend's name? His name is Sam Cheshire. And if you like pipe, tobacco, woodwork, poetry, whiskey, and all that, I mean, this is like my whiskey brother. Like we drank whiskey together a lot. Not a lot. We used to, dude, I still remember that night we downed the entire
Jameson.
castmates. That was a good night.
Ugh.
But follow him on Instagram because he's got some cool stuff on there. And I think of what? And I think of it as a metaphor, like God's pure light. Where do you think he's going? Go first on the darkest places meeting. Okay, it wasn't a suggestion or an idea. It was another one of my metaphors. Nate, you know you're laughing. But let me say, please, don't do drugs. People, I truly believe I'm lucky and I'm an anomaly. Please don't do drugs. It's dangerous. You know where to take the... You don't want Hollywood. I do. They sell their souls most of the time. Then they rep 666, all seeing eye, dressing. Nah, totally disagree. I 100% disagree.
But it sounds like, I'm not going to make the joke. It's okay.
He who is without sin may cast the first stone. Am I right? I don't know what that's in reference to. I agree with that question.
Biblical. Something Christ said.
But what is he referring to? Yes, but the Bible has been polluted by man. Some of it's true, some of it's you. But be a fool to assume everything in the Bible. What are your views on vegans and vegetarians?
I kind of want to go the clever name here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jess.
Huh?
It's Jess.
Jess.
Yeah.
So for Bible believing people, I believe in the Holy Spirit, and when it comes to the content of the Bible, yes, there's language barriers and differences, and there's translations, but the ultimate message is the same and untainted. Yeah, going down the street, my 640 now. Untainted. And that's through the preservation of the Holy Spirit. So, not like attacking the comment, but that's what Christians believe. So, just shedding some light on that subject.
I need to go get my phone and charge it.
Jess, I like that about the sober mind. I'm looking forward to talking to you tonight because it's probably directed at Nate. He will be back.
Oh, God.
Any other questions for me, guys? Have you ever ate smoked cheese? Do you like smoked foods? Yeah, I like this guy. I asked if they had any questions for me. He immediately went to cheese and smoked foods.
You're talking to the right guy.
Yes and yes. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the question about veganism. What are your views on vegans and veganism? It's something I've been considering for ethical reasons. Find it to be crazy. Do you have an Instagram? I've already answered this. Yes, Nate.Alger. Unless you're asking for Sam and you don't care about me, which he can give you the Instagram name.
Barefoot Band. Actually, I don't remember anymore.
Yeah. Vegetarian, vegan, that sort of thing. I will say my diet right now is gluten-free, dairy-free because of Lyme disease. but I do like it, and I don't eat red meat a lot, like once in a blue moon, and I feel so much better. So, and meat is very acidic for your body. That's meant to be not more alkaline, but more alkaline than what we treat it. And so, I don't think it's a permanent thing. Some people live that lifestyle permanently. All I can say is don't be an idiot about it. Don't be like, I'm not going to eat meat or any of this, and then you eat like Oreos, but asking for you. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Valley_Piper7. And when it comes to the energy thing in food, so we all understand life cycles and energy cycles. So grass gets the energy from the sun, the plants get the energy animals get the energy from the plants, so we eat that. A lot of it has to do with nitrogen. So when it comes to, I don't hate any vegetarians. I don't really think I don't even consider vegetarianism, veganism, and just normal to be a philosophical conversation.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. The question about fasting.
Where's that?
Do you fast often?
Do I fast often? I used to. I used to fast once a week, and highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I want to do it again, just because it's so good. And you don't just have to fast food. Fasting food can be really beneficial, but fasting things that seem to be taking over your life can also be very, very beneficial. What's everyone saying?
Favorite whiskey? Catoctin Creek's Roundstone Rye, made in Purcellville, Virginia.
Yeah.
Just got, I believe, number 3 in the U.S. So that's the answer to that question.
Hand me that.
This?
No. Highland Park.
Oh.
Viking Honor. Very good. But I don't know. We both drank a lot of Jameson, but that Catoctin Creek is exceptional. It's very, very good. Do you fast often? I did fast once a week. I don't know if I already talked about that, but cows are farting too much, though. Passion of Christ is a great movie. Yes, it is. Favorite singer? That's a good one. Favorite singer? I'm assuming that you're asking me. Probably asking both of us. I'd have to say favorite singer would be Justin Timberlake, Jared Leto, James Arthur. I dig John Legend. I don't know. I like all-around musicianship instead of just voice. Like, I could listen to James Arthur all day. Love that dude's voice. But for, like, all-around musicianship, he's not, like, my first choice. He's not the best, but.
HR from Bad Brains and whoever the guy is for Incendiary. Take his vocals.
Yeah, for metal vocals, screaming vocals, oh, man, there's so many. So many good ones. The guy from My Ticket Home.
Yeah.
Don't know his name.
He's good.
Dude's sick.
Do you play games? What's your favorite games? Nate's not too much of a gamer.
I'm not a gamer.
This
dude is a gamer, though.
I'm a nerd. I'm in IT. I game all the time. My friends at work game a lot. I'm a huge fan of the Dark Souls games. So I've been playing a lot of Sekiro right now. Love it.
I'm gonna start doing this live stream a lot more.
Maddie Montgomery.
Or once a
Here
week.
we go. For today.
Maddie Montgomery, for today. For today guy. For today guy.
Oh man.
Don't go then, Junior. We're having fun. We are having fun. I'm glad you guys are having fun. This is fun.
It's always the live streams too, like Facebook.
Glad I'm not the only person drinking. Yeah, you're not. Y'all didn't say your favorite movie.
Oh, crap.
Top 3 favorite movies. The Arrival, number 1. No. Oh, man. It's a tie between The Arrival and Interception for me, and then Interstellar.
Fellowship of the Ring. Biodome.
Oh man.
Encino Man.
The Arrival, really? Yes. Have you seen The Arrival? It's amazing. Let me check our podcast to double check your answers. Yeah, no, they're the same answers. They are the same answers. Charlie, no, what? Charlie, I'm talking about The Arrival.
Don't get Mark started on domes.
No, the Arrival with Amy Adams. It was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, 2016. Yeah, I'm a nerd in that kind of stuff. Shawshank. That's a good movie. Popcorn Intact. What's your dad's mark? What? I'm staying. The Arrival was a great movie. It was an amazing movie.
Favorite TV series?
The Office.
No.
So are you talking about like sitcom series? The Office, hands down. But
No.
favorite TV series, like drama TV series? Dude, there's some good ones. I think we'd both agree Heroes needed to keep going.
Yeah.
Heroes needed to keep going.
I think for current though, it's a tie between Parks and Rec and New Girl.
Oh my God. They're both good, but The Office is better.
No.
Yeah.
No. The Greatest Showman. I agree, man. That's one of the few movies I've watched and then watched again immediately afterwards.
No.
I cried a good bit.
No, I wasn't. I like The Greatest Showman music, but I was expecting more because the guys who did that movie also did La La Land, and La La Land was like a masterpiece of a movie. But The Greatest Showman was historically not super accurate, but a lot of the scenes in it were amazing, so it still was a good job. The Way Back is my fave. I haven't seen that.
So Mark Williams, he was talking about the flat Earth earlier.
Yeah.
And now he's saying Minecraft's his favorite game, and I just need to point out that Minecraft is like a fully 3D game.
If you haven't listened to Ben Howard, please do. Love Ben Howard. Love Ben Howard. He's great. There definitely needed to be more of the story, but The Greatest Showman was a phenomenal soundtrack. Yeah, no, soundtrack. It was phenomenal.
For me, I mean, yeah, the music was great, but Hugh Jackman, for many, he's Wolverine. You know, like I'm only 25. He's always been Wolverine, and so to see him do that kind of film and do it as well as he did, and like a lot of actors will act, and it's like, okay, they acted in a movie and they did a good job. But seeing Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman, like there was such a joy that was on him that you could just clearly tell, and I don't know, I melted. It was a great movie.
You say you have to be a musical theater lover. You do. Are you guys into sports at all? Basketball was my sport. I'm into more extreme sports like snowboarding, skateboarding, that sort of thing. I'm English. Most people I know are atheist. I think you can say it's predominantly a secular country. A lot of people grow up without a religion. How much did you think this influences whether a person
is atheist or religious? I think there's like a character count.
Whether a person is atheist or religious. Got you. How much do you think this influences?
So English as in like England being a secular country? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you can say it's predominantly secular country. A lot of people grow up without religion. How much do you think this influences whether or not a person's atheist? I mean, I think it's a huge thing. I mean, obviously there's the argument of nature versus nurture. And some people say it's all nature, some people say it's all nurture. I think it's a bit of both. So ultimately, nobody's a robot. in my opinion. Some people would differ on that, whether or not you believe in free will or not. But in my opinion, everybody's asked the question at some point or another in their life about God. And whether or not it's a super secular country or very religious country, a lot of it can be, well, nobody else believes this, and I don't want to be the weird one, and so I'm not going to believe this, or I'm going to believe this too, or whatever. And that goes like vice versa for both like atheistic thinking and Christian thinking. I just think it takes a brave soul to break out of it. A brave soul to, in the midst of a bunch of Christians, say I'm an atheist, and then in the midst of a bunch of atheists say I'm a Christian. But I do think before the questioning starts, I do think there is a huge impact on the nurture side of things, on how you grew up, on what country you were born in. Totally makes a difference. Makes sense, Peter. I was an atheist in the day that God touched my heart. Cool. And I said it's okay to be a girl because earlier you said I'm a dreamer, but sometimes I'm really emotional and I don't know.
Can you run faster than Sam?
Yes.
Depends.
There was one time.
Depends. If we're both wearing flip-flops, I win.
Yeah.
I can run in flops.
You can run in flops. But that's,
I don't know. I mean, now I'm fat and you have Lyme, so.
no, I'd still win. Hi, guy. It's okay to be a girl. I get what you're saying, Jess.
Sending an invitation for you, and I want to be able to chat back and forth on YouTube. Interesting.
It's basically as you're responding to questions, people are commenting to your responses to questions.
Top 5 action movies. Star Wars 1 through 5.
Hold on to your butts, guys. Mark is at the wheel. Can you run faster than Hello? You need to go on YouTube setting because I sent you an invitation for you, and I need to be able to chat back and forth on YouTube individually and without being a stalker and needing a number. Okay, I'll figure that out, Jess. I'm not sure how to make that happen, but I can't see notifications right now, so I'll have to get to that at some other point. I'll have to figure out some other way to do that. But email me.
Are you guys Marvel fans?
Marvel fans? Hell yeah.
More than DC.
Way more than DC.
Even down to the comic books.
Like, DC movies blow. Like, they're not doing it right. Marvel took the time. DC is like, we need to catch up. And it's like, no, you don't. Just take your time. But yeah, huge Marvel fan.
How do you deal with anger or hate? YouTube, a band called Incendiary. That's how I deal with it.
Nah, deal with anger and hate depends on if you're angry at someone and hate someone or if it's towards yourself. I deal with it in different ways depending on the situation. But ultimately, forgiveness is typically the answer, whether it's yourself or somebody else. 100 pots of flour.
Oh, yeah.
100 pounds of flour make a hell of a biscuit. I like
Favorite rapper.
Favorite rapper. Oh,
The Voice.
He's a rapper that I produce music for.
Any other one that has his mouth.
Favorite rapper. Dude, honestly, I'm going to be the typical white dude and say Eminem just because I grew up listening to Eminem and I know a lot of his songs. Like, still to this day, I was just listening to him today and rapping to him. I like rappers that are super intense. So I like Fora. I like NF. I like Eminem. I like
Tyler, the Creator.
Tyler, the Creator's dope. Like super intense rappers. I don't like the rappers that are like they're really laid back and chill. Like, I like the rappers that are like in your face, super intense. That's what I'm into. 100 pounds. Favorite rapper. If the sun is not moving instead of, oh my God, he's still talking about the flat earth. If the sun is not moving instead of us, how did Joshua pray for the sun to stop in the sky? Glad you're still on. Just got home from work.
Who that?
Shazam was good. Yeah, Shazam was good for sure. Favorite color? Gray, black and white. Yeah, I'm serious. I agree with you completely. If I were
Green.
to follow a religion, I would definitely be judged for my friends. I feel there's an arrogance, towards religion. Often people insult it. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I like Hobson. He's not like my first pick, but I do like him. Yeah, I know what you're saying. ABC 1 through 3. Yeah. And not only arrogance, but like I said, I think you're a brave soul if you come out of the nurturing environment that everyone's been in and you start making decisions for yourself. I think takes a brave soul. If you could become Batman but knew when you would die, would you? If you could become Batman but knew when you would. So basically, here's what you're saying. Because Batman doesn't have any superpowers, he's just rich. So you're saying if you could become rich and then the money would eventually kill you, would you do it?
It depends how long it would take.
I don't know. Who that boy? Didn't you say, what if somebody said that earlier?
Wait, oh my God, Sam! I'm Scotch, Irish, and Cherokee. That's funny. I'm Scotch, Irish, and Cuban.
And I'm like Thor, Norwegian.
Oh my gosh!
What?
And his grandfather says, "Matters he revised King Songs, but the Lord he was on. He possessed the brother music."
What? I don't know what I think about that. Had some yummy sour mash last night.
Mark's
Dope.
on some next level stuff.
Who would win, Thanos or Darkseid? I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Your mom.
There you go. That's a good answer. Wow, we're like shaking this computer a lot.
Yeah, I got restless.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
I hate Batman. I hate Superman too.
I love Superman. 72 Demons of Wow. Go back to the flow. Why so serious? Yeah,
What's your take on religious freedom? Yeah, I love that question.
go for it.
So, religious freedom, you have the freedom to decide for yourself and serve whatever religion you want. Awesome. But does that mean that you can do whatever that religion says without consequences from your government? I don't think so. So I think a lot of people use religious freedom as an excuse for certain things, and I don't think. I think people have it misconstrued. It's for the same reason I don't. We're around a lot of people who are just like, oh, the United States is a Christian nation that was ordained by God, and that's why we have religious freedom.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think the United States was developed on the idea that if you have a belief, you can believe that, and we're going to believe that we're going to be a community of believers, and we are going to live together in harmony. At least that was the attempt. I don't buy into this whole we're a Christian nation, only Christians can live in this nation stuff.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's the way that it was originally established. What'd you do?
Oh, I did that. I don't like that.
All right.
Favorite food, both of you. Empaths, are you? Probably. I guess I think it's like a new agey way of saying a feeler. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I guess.
Favorite food for both of you? Probably French fries, potatoes, potato chips, anything with potatoes, and pizza and hamburgers, that kind of thing. Jess, I don't know how to add you. I don't see any notification saying someone had a request or something. My stream keeps going unlive. Weird.
How about vaccines? Vaccinate your kids.
No, what? Really?
Really? Is this something we're like,
Really?
yes,
I wouldn't.
vaccinate the damn kids?
No. Why would you? Obviously, I have not done research in this. So if you've done research, then you know more than me on this subject. But I'm just saying, like, why okay, so it's like a fact that like the flu shot is like mess people up.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also a fact that as we introduce more and more into people, they build up tolerances and resiliencies to certain drugs, and they either have to become stronger or something new has to be created. I don't disagree with that. But I don't think that's a good enough reason to not vaccinate your kids. Because, I mean, the things that we're vaccinating with could kill you. Like, if you don't get vaccinated, and then
Yeah,
it
but
puts others at harm.
the vaccination is the disease.
I think if you look at like the amount of people who have been vaccinated versus the amount of people who have had negative implications due to a vaccination, it would still be a valuable thing to do. Like, I'm not saying they don't mess people up, because they do. I'm just saying until there's a better choice option, we need to vaccinate, because then you put a majority of people at risk. Yes, absolutely, Sam. Do you have a YouTube channel? Because I would love to follow you as well. I do not have a YouTube channel. I help with stuff like this sometimes.
Yeah, I just want to point out if Nate's thoughts and concepts and ideas and interpretation have inspired me and helped me as much as they have, I can only imagine you would do the same. Yeah, he would. He does. Also, let me just point out that I've given Nate a couple good ideas for videos already. She has. So I'm feeling like we're the Three Musketeers. Yeah, that's real. What's your opinion on hunting animals?
Love it.
So I don't have an issue with it. I don't. But I don't know if I could do it. Like, he hunts. Awesome. Like, I like guns. Like, I like shooting guns. But I don't know. For me, I've never done it. I've never killed an animal. I've never gone hunting. I don't have an issue with it, but I just don't know. Like, for me, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it's the compassionate side of me. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't done it. But
for me, I adore all living things. And you can ask my wife, because I'm always trying to bring things home. I hunt because of population control when I do hunt. And I'm also a very, I don't know, I'm going to say spiritual hunter. That sounds weird. I thank God for what I have. And so being on a hunt, sitting there in this vast glory of God's creation, it humbles me. It takes me to a place that I wish I could get to every day. So hunting for me isn't even just necessarily about taking that shot. It helps with food. I mean, it's to be able to fill a freezer for the winter time is really nice, and it helps take a load off my wallet. But when I kill a deer, it's a very emotional thing to me. I cried, and I still cry. And it's more out of thanks for an opportunity. And then there's a lot of hunters out there who just kill to kill, and that breaks my heart. A lot of people out there who kill young deer just to say that they bagged one. I don't agree with that. And another thing I do is when I hunt, which isn't that often, but with the whole population control thing and chronic wasting disease, there's a lot of stuff going on in the tri-state area. And so when you're able to take a deer in and have it tested, It tells the local authorities a lot about what's going on with the local herds and the population. And I'm an environmentalist. I believe that there's a balance to all ecosystems, and when humans have an ability to help maintain an ecosystem, I believe we need to take it. And so for some people, hunting is a way to help with that. So that's where I'm at on it.
You make me want to hunt. What I want to be your dog. I don't understand.
Who said that?
I don't. Yeah. Without vaccinations, cold mortality rates will skyrocket. See, I haven't done research, so I don't.
I think a lot has to do with diet too. Our diets as like people suck, and
real.
processed foods and stuff like that. And I'm not like, I mean, I'm sitting down. You can't see my gut, but
No red meat for me either. Yeah, I don't have red meat. I drink alkaline water too. Dig it. I'm doing the Wim Hof breathing method, which that's like restoring alkaline back. It's good. What's your opinion on hunting humans? Don't do it.
Is that like a deeper question, like with war, or is that is that just a joke? Okay.
I think it's a joke. I don't think that's a deep question. What did you always want to try but never found the courage to? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer that question on here.
Someone banned Peppa Pig.
Yeah.
Because they're turning into zombies, so I'm helping. Peppa Pig, I mean, that's the layman's. Yeah.
I was honestly going to click off this after 2 minutes, but this is awesome. What up? Are you guys dating? Who are? Get out of here. Yeah. Excuse me.
Read the Book of Enoch. Love how interesting things are.
Yeah, who said that? Where's the
David Atkins? I love the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, Book of Enoch is great. It's a good read. And Jack Honey. Jack Honey's good stuff. Yes, David. Love is a guessing game. Love is a guessing game, and are you guys playing? What?
Okay, Mark. I'm gonna bite on this bait.
Billie Eilish is a great singer. Keep on.
The fallen angels blasphemed all the creatures of the world. That's where dinosaurs came from. I personally don't believe that anything that has been created by God can be defiled by Satan, unless permission was given. And that's so I don't think animals can give that permission. I'd see animals as sacred. I definitely that's one theology I just definitely don't agree with.
Did you read ABC 123?
Factory farming isn't right, in my opinion. Today we are desensitized to the reality of the process of how meat finds itself into. I agree. I mean, I try really hard not to buy meat from the store, but it just happens. My wife's family butchers, and so I've seen a process from beginning and end. And when I hunt, I'm in the process from beginning to end. And one of the things I'd recommend for anyone who's like concerned about supermarket meats or poor diets, I'm not one to really follow any specific diet, but if you look at what people ate in the past, it was a lot less meat. And so the perfect diet for me would be primarily a vegetarian diet, implementing meat once or twice a month. But that's just where I'm at on that. I don't even know how we got on these topics from the beginning of philosophy.
I'm
the most attractive.
How did we get giants then? I don't know what they're saying.
Okay, for Mark, how do we get giants then? So one of the creation theories of the earth that man, you remember that doctor's name, the archaeologist?
Ken Hovind.
Ken Hovind. So it's the same theory that supports why a flood would have been possible. And so there's a thick canopy of water over the earth, which would explain the extremely tropical climate that would exist over the whole earth. So when you have high levels of oxygen, things tend to grow faster, quicker, bigger. And then they also don't require as much air to breathe. hence why we have the brachiosaur and other species of dinosaurs like that. If you look at their the way they would have had to breathe, the nostrils are super small, which means in order for an animal of that mass to have enough oxygen in its blood circulating to keep it alive, it would have to be an enriched oxygen environment. So that's also the same supporting theory as to why there were giants. But there is the whole Nephilim thing too.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the third fell from heaven and performed bestiality and we got dinosaurs. But the whole third falling from heaven and interaction with humans, creating giants and stuff like that is a possibility, and that's that's one of the reasons to have the flood in the first place.
Did God create sin? No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I believe in God, but I don't think he did. I think this is going to sound really bad, but I think he created humans. Well, if he exists. I mean, he says he created humans, and then the humans were imperfect because, okay, that gets into something I almost went down a rabbit hole. But no, I'm just going to say no. Simple answer.
I would say that in creating people with the ability to have free will, sin had to have been an option.
Like that's the rabbit hole I was going down.
If we look at like the core of what sin is, like the separation.
It comes down to free will. If you don't believe in free will, then that's where you're going to have all those questions. But if you believe in free will, then you understand where sin came from, where imperfections came from. Any idea why God allowed 3 monotheistic religions to exist? It's confusing people, and the free choice is lessened by one's environment. Your foundation is decided by starting by your family. What? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Okay, what is your take on marriage equality? I'm assuming you mean marriage equality from straight people and gay people and that sort of thing. I don't know. So here's my story. I have a lot of gay friends, gay lesbian friends, and one of my best friends is gay, married to a man, and he's also a conservative Christian. And so I love like my friends, like they're my friends. Like I don't shame them or anything. But I tend to be on the side of I don't even participate in that argument because I'm like, I know people that I'm really close with that live those kind of lifestyles. So I'm like, not going to bash it. Not going to do any of that. So I don't know. That's kind of a tough question for me, but that's where I'm at. I'm so behind in the chat. I think, sitcom. Yeah, Jess, you're a little behind. Is religion just a feeling? Is it yes or is it no? Religion is not a feeling. I don't think religion's like a set of rules. Why are straight men more aggressive with gays in bed than... Okay.
Put user in timeout.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Agreed. I snowboard also. It's just so funny. Yeah, you're way behind, Jess.
What do you know about my country, Germany, guys? And would you like to visit? I'd love to visit Germany.
I would love to visit Germany. I have ancestors from there. Yeah, no, I'd love to visit Germany. I think Germany is a really cool place. A lot of dope music producers come out of Germany, and I'd love to visit. Don't know much about your country, but I'd love to visit. What was Lucifer's mindset goal when he tried to overthrow God, and did he think he could overtake God? I think he did think that he could overtake God, based on the story, based on all that. I think he did think that he could overtake God. And where did your comment go? And I think his mindset was that he thought that he could do it better. As simple as that. I mean, there's more to it, but it's as simple as that. What do you guys know about my? Oh, okay. Do a violent video games make people more violent in real? Do violent video games make people more violent in real life? I don't think so.
I think so.
You do think so?
Yeah. I think that I am the generation of people who have been gaming with games like that, and I think it matters on the age. Um, I'm not an advocate of young kids playing Grand Theft Auto or Mortal Kombat, or even though I did. I just don't. I think that's a desensitization of the human condition when it comes to killing.
Mhm.
And so if you put a young child in that environment who is still processing basic human ideals, it could twist them, and it can just make things difficult for when they get older. Now, do I think every kid who's going to play Call of Duty is going to go out and do something terrible? No, I don't. And I think it comes down to the specific child and what the parents can agree with, and with the right supervision, making the right choices.
Everyone should have a choice. Yeah. Do you think spirituality is a cop out? No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Cop out for what?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's a cop out. Do we think our thoughts? It's a good question. That was on the Tally TV episode of like, is it our conscience that we're hearing, or is it God? Because a lot of Christians will say God is our conscience. But that's a great question. I don't have the answer to it because I don't know. But I do think we think our thoughts. I do think we do have control over our thoughts. But like when our thoughts come, we can decide what to do with them. But the coming of the thoughts, I don't know what that is. I think it's all experiential, but I'm not entirely sure. I think parenting comes into play a lot of the time. Yeah. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. Ooh. It's a good line. Huh. The argument is that he did on the cross. That's the argument.
Yes, but what about Revelation?
Yeah, that's the thing. Right now, faith is required to please God, as Hebrews says. But there will be a day in Revelation where faith is no longer required, where it will just be experience. Well, the chat seems to be dying down. I think I'm going to end it. So it's been almost 2 hours. Really love this. Really appreciate you guys being on the chat, hanging in there, talking. This has been fun. I'll make sure to do this more, just randomly. But seriously, guys, with Tally TV, we can talk in depth about these kind of things, and I can actually talk to you face to face. So please go and sign up so that we can have so I'm not just like looking at a chat board all the time, which is great, but I want to be able to actually talk face to face. So yeah, damn, just got here. LOL. Yeah, sorry, dude. We're wrapping things up, but guys, thank you so much. You all are amazing. Thank you for hanging in there. This has been a lot of fun, and we will do this more. So yeah, new group of friends. Hell yeah. We'll I'll be doing this more. So keep a heads up. Hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I'm going live, and we can do this again. So, happy birthday.
You tell my friend Nick Gurr happy birthday. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Nick Gurr.
Oh.
No! Oh man! Oh man! Damn it! Wow!
Oh, you got him.
Oh my god!
Kudos to you.
You got me, dude. Oh my god!
man.
Damn it!
I'm saving this video.
You guys are sick. Oh my god.
Oh, this does deserve a sub.
Oh my god.
It does.
Oh, dude. You got me so good. Oh my god.
It's gonna be a live stream fail compilation.
Dude. All right. That's that. That just happened. This stream should have ended. Man, I was trying to leave it on a good note and like, oh, happy birthday, Nick. That was so good. Man. Oh
I
god.
mean, this is chat. This is what happens on Twitch
Yep.
and other places all the time.
Damn.
This is a community. Thank you guys for being a great community.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. A sub to you, I meant. Okay. Yeah, I know. I was so excited. I was like, Nick, yeah, totally. I'm trying to be a nice guy to people, and then that's what I get. All right.
Man, you got a sub out of it though.
Hey, I got a sub out of it. Thank you for subbing. All right, guys. Well, that's that for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll make sure to do this more and more, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.